Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me for another video from DanaConquersBoutique. Today is going to be a little bit different because I'm making something that I have never made before, and it is a diaper wreath. I did watch several videos on YouTube, but I think I'm going to go ahead and kind of just wing it and just, let my creativity fly. So you're going to see me try and teach myself how to do this as I go along in the video, but let's go ahead and get started and I'll show you all of the supplies that I'm going to use. So first, I am choosing to use a 16-inch wreath frame, and I didn't choose one of the flat ones. I chose one of the ones that have a bit of dimension to it, just so that way the wreath will look fuller. The next thing is I have a cute little wooden sign with acrylic letters that says "She's Here." I found this on Amazon for really, really cheap, and it's so cute. So we're gonna attach this to the wreath in some way. Next, I have ribbon, obviously, but this time I'm going to be making my ribbon bow by hand and showing you how I make my ribbon bows. I have zip ties in a few different sizes. I'm not sure if I'm going to need them, but I wanted to have them on my table. Something else that I have is floral wire. I'm not sure if I'm going to need this, but I'll probably use this to tighten up my ribbon bow. I have rubber bands as well. I have yarn that I'm going to use in some way. I have scissors. I have clamps as well to help me hold down my ribbon bow since I'm making it by hand. I have diapers as well, and I chose to get them in two different sizes. I have a size 4 and a size 2 diaper, but you can choose any size diaper that you would like to go with. I didn't want to do newborn diapers because I figured that mama would have, several packs of those to bring the baby home from the hospital. So I figured a size 2 or a 4 would be good to use maybe a few months down the line. So we have several of those. And last but not least, I have a cute little plushie, a little elephant named Hazel that I found on Amazon. I'm going to leave this tag on here and the wash instructions as well, just because I'm not going to wash this before it's given to mama. If she decides to let the baby or her other daughter play with it, I want her to be able to take this off of the wreath and wash it in whatever baby detergent that she uses for their home. I don't want to cause any unnecessary, breakouts because I'm using the wrong detergent. So that's why you're going to see this on here. And lastly, off camera, I have my glue gun. I likely won't use it for this project, but I want to always keep that on deck in case I need it for something offhand. What I'm going to do now is show you how I plan to roll up the diapers. I'm not quite sure how many I'm going to need for the wreath base, but I'll probably roll half of each pack that I have. So I'm thinking probably about 15 of these and maybe 10 of these just to start out, and I'll roll more as I go along. I just don't want to be wasteful and roll up more than I actually need. So let's go ahead and get started with rolling these up. Alrighty, so I have my diapers here, and I want to make sure that I roll these and tuck them really well so that way these diapers can still be taken off of the wreath and used if need be for the baby. So what I plan to do is I definitely want for the size number to be visible on the front of the wreath. I don't want to tuck those and hide them because, she may not know which ones go, for which size. So they do have different designs on them. This one barely has a design. This is the size 2, but the size 4 has a design, but still, I don't want for there to be any, confusion. She's already taking care of a newborn, so I don't want for her to have to try and figure things out. So here's what I plan to do. I'm gonna give this a quick little 1, 2 fold, and then I'm gonna tuck down the top. I'm just trying to make it kind of neat here. And then I'm just gonna take a rubber band and put that on there. And just put a rubber band in the middle. We're gonna cover this so the black rubber band won't be seen. Let's try one of these two. So I'm gonna turn the 2 upside down. Fold it twice pretty tightly. Fold down the top. And then we're gonna, yep, I think that's how I'm gonna do it. Let's try it one more time for both. Let's start with the little one this time. Two rolls tightly, fold down the top to tuck in the top of the diaper. Put a rubber band in the center. These are so cute. And let's try this number 4 one last time. 2 rolls tightly. Fold down the top of it and finish it. So it's kind of like a little burrito. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a quick little time lapse of me finishing about 10 more of each size. And when I come back, we'll start to go ahead and attach them to the wreath. All right, I ran out of battery, so it is the next day. Before we attach the diapers to the wreath frame, what I'm going to do is flip my sign over and attach what is called a cable mount by 3M. It comes with a little sticky back, but I'm going to take some E6000 glue just for extra security and just place it in the middle of the sign. And this is just so that way it's easier to attach it to the wreath. And if they want to take this sign off of the wreath and place it somewhere else, they can easily take it off, untwist it from the back, and go ahead and use it, hang it on the wall, use it elsewhere, use it for another wreath, something like that. So I just wanted to get that started so that way it can sit off to the side and be ready for once we get to the end where we can put all of our fancy little details on the wreath. Let's go ahead and start attaching the diapers onto the wreath form. And I'm going to use this fluffy pink yarn that's really soft as well. I cut a piece off just so that way I can work easily without tangling up the entire skein of yarn. And I'm just gonna drop it into my lap. I'm gonna go ahead and use my second and third rings on the wreath form and just start trying to attach this. Let's see. So we're just gonna kind of just keep weaving it through, and I'm gonna pull from my lap as I go along. Use a 4, size 4, and then another size 4 up against it. There is another. I'm trying to make sure that I cover those rubber bands so that way they can't be seen, and just keeping this tight together. So I think we're going to use 4 size 4s on the bottom for each section of the wreath frame. Actually, I forgot to loop it back through. So after each one, you want to make sure you loop it back through the second and the third ring of the wreath form. And what I'm going to do with this one, we'll go back and get this one at the end. The first one that I started, it fell off because the string is loose on that side. What I'm going to do is go ahead and flip that over, and this, I should have started it this way, but that's okay. I'm learning. There's nothing wrong with that. Just going to flip it over and just tie it somehow on the back. Not too tightly that they can't get it off easily, but tight enough where nothing's going to fall off. So just a cute little knot, and I'm leaving it that way so that way they can see where they can just easily cut or untie and reuse the yarn for something. So there's the first 3 that I did since one fell off, and I'll just shape and pull this string as I go. So yes, it's going to be 4 diapers per section. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and attach all of the size 4 first all the way around, and then I'll come back through and attach the size 2 diapers on top in a few areas as well, just to give it a little more dimension and interest. So here's a quick time lapse of me doing the size 4. So I finished up the size 4 all the way around, and I took some time to just go ahead and tuck the ends of the diaper roll in, just to try and keep it neat. And I'll show you what the back looks like. This is the beginning and the end of my string. I'm going to use this to tie our little elephant stuffy to the wreath on the front, but I'll show you that when we get to that step. I'm just trying to keep it neat, and what I'm going to do now is go back through and attach the size 2 diapers. I rolled up 12, so I'm going to attach them every other, well, you know what, I'll do every 2. So I'll attach one here, and then just keep going every 2 all the way around, and I'm going to do that as a quick time lapse. I decided to go ahead and tie off all of the loose ends and figure out a different way to attach our stuffed animal. So I just wanted to clean things up and fluff a little bit, and this is what the front looks like. I'm going to pick it up and flip it. I think it's really cute. I like it. It's kind of heavy, but it's not really meant to be something that you carry around too much. It's either meant to go on a wall somewhere. So, and it will still hold up with some good command strips. So in total, I used 28 number 4 diapers on the bottom with 1 on the top. There's a reason for that. I'll tell you in a second. and there are 11 number 2 diapers on the top. I decided to put one last number 4 up on the top just because there was one left in the pack, and also just give myself something for our little stuffed animal to rest on. Let's go ahead and take some string and attach our little stuffed elephant to the wreath. Now I'm attaching it between that last number 4 that I put on top and this number 2 that's over here. So this is where I want her to live. I think I might do it like this so that way it's kind of like extra strength. So I'm going to take my string, put it in half, and then I'm going to loop it under. Excuse me, Hazel, sit over here for a moment. So I have a loop here, and then I have my ends here. I'm going to pull them through. I'm kind of just going to lasso our little stuffed animal in here some kind of way. So here's that loop. I'm going to put it underneath her arms. Should I do above? We'll do one above her arms. No, we'll do them both below her arms. And just kind of tighten it so it's like a little seat belt for her. Tighten that up a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. So I want her on there snug. I'm gonna tuck the label back behind the diapers so it's not poking out, and her little tail is stuck back here as well. Let's bring it down so it's not messed up. There we go. And I'm just gonna go ahead and tie it in a little bow. And being that I did roll up 12 of those number 2 diapers and I only used 11 going around, I think I'm gonna stick this little one. Let me undo this for a second, because I just had a thought before I tie this too tightly. It would be so cute if she's holding this, so let's just go ahead and make it look like she's holding this. And then we can tighten it up. Oh, that's so cute. And we can go ahead and give that a tie. And I'm gonna leave the ends just like that. And now we're gonna go ahead and put our She's There sign on, and the E6000 glue that we use to attach the cable mount is pretty sturdy. It usually takes about 24 hours to cure, but we're not doing anything rough with it, so it should be fine to go ahead and attach to the wreath. So I'm just gonna use a pipe cleaner and feed it through the back. Just like that. You can see. And then I'm going to probably put it up here. And just go ahead and feed that pipe cleaner through the diapers and try not to disturb anything that's already been done. I don't want to keep flipping the wreath over just because I had a little trouble getting some of these in position, so I don't want to disturb them too much. Okay, so I'm just feeding it through the back, and I'll show you the back again once I'm done so you can see what I did. Feeding it through. I'm just gonna twist it on there kind of tightly. And before I cut the ends of the pipe cleaner, I just want to stand up and see if I like the way that looks, and I think I do. So we still have to put a bow on here that I'm going to teach you how to do next. And my sister made some epoxy letters as well that I don't have with me right now, but I'm going to go get them in a day or so and attach them to the wreath. So give me just a second to cut these pipe cleaners off of the back of this, and I'll come back and show you how to make a handmade bow. Okay, everybody, so I decided to make the ribbon bow process a separate video just because I saw that it was taking over 20 minutes to film, and I didn't want to make this wreath video too long. If you want to see the process, be sure to go over and look at that video that's also listed on my YouTube channel. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and attach this to the wreath. I think it would look pretty anywhere, but I think I'm going to go ahead and attach it at the bottom. And who knows, once I attach this and hang it up and take a look at it, I may want to create a completely different one for the top, and I probably will. We'll see, just to fill it up and make it as dainty and pretty as possible. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and attach this, clean up the ends, and do our best to keep this fabric from fraying. So I'm going to go ahead and cut another piece of yarn off of our skein. Not too long because I don't want to be wasteful. And I think I want it to be right here in the center. So I'm going to loop this yarn from the back to the front. And I'm looping it through the base as best I can. And then I'm going to try and make these even and bring it up this way. There we go. And then I'm just going to twist it and bring it over just to hold that in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach our ribbon like this. Let me make sure I'm in frame. And just attach it to that and make it tight, but it doesn't have to be too tight. And I'm just gonna make a bow right there and let it hang. So that's pretty. So now we can go ahead and fluff our ribbon. And I'm gonna clean up the top as well. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and start making. I like to do dovetails for most of my wreaths just because I feel like it gives it a nice touch. So all you're gonna do is pinch your ribbon in half and then cut it at a diagonal. Cut it at a diagonal. That's all you're gonna do. And to seal the ends, take a lighter, and on the flame there's like that blue part. That's the part that you want to run across your ribbon. You don't want to run the hot yellow part across it because it will burn it. The blue part is not nearly as hot, I have found, at least for these type of Bic lighters. So that's all I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do the same to the bottom part of that one. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of these in just a quick time lapse. Give me just a second, I'll come back. All right, everybody, so off camera, I made another bow that's a little bit different from the bow that's down below, just to create some interest. But again, I did make a separate video on how I made one of these bows, so if you want to see that, head on over to the other video on my YouTube channel. What I started to do now is go ahead and start attaching the acrylic letters that my sister made, and 2 are already attached, but I'm going to show you how I attach them. So what I did was I took the acrylic letters and drilled a hole in them. You can use a Dremel or you can use a regular hand drill like what I did. And then I took some of the yarn that we used to tie down the diapers and just fed it through that hole and gave it like a quick little knot. And then I'm going to go ahead and just use a little crochet hook. These are like little cheapies from the hair store. You get them anytime you order hair off of a hair website. So what I'm going to do is feed that through. And I'm going to take one side of the yarn and pull it this way, and then I'm going to go the opposite direction and pull that other piece of yarn through the other way. I'm trying to be gentle so I don't scratch the diaper. And then I'm just going to go ahead and play around with it a little bit because I want for it to be kind of in between these 2 letters a bit. And then I'm just going to go ahead and tie it into a bow. And cut off the ends to look a little nicer. And just play around with the bow a little bit to make it look pretty. And I think at this stage, we're done. Now that the letters are attached, we're going to go ahead and put this in a clear gift bag and hang it, and I'm going to show you some final shots. I really like how this turned out for my first try. Let me know what you guys think of this down below in the comment section, and if you try it, feel free to tag DanaConquersBoutique on any of the socials. I would love to see your work as well. And also, let me know if there are any other wreath themes or ribbon themes that you would like for me to try, and maybe I'll end up doing something from the comment section in next month's video as well. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. It really helps my small business be seen by others. And I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, and let's get to the photos. Bye-bye.